Hello, welcome back. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, a game I haven't played in some time, but has a special place in my heart. I played it to death three, 4 years ago, and it was, it's obviously stood the test of time. It's a great game, and I thought it'd be fun to revisit it on a new save file and just play a little bit each day and see how we do. So I never kind of completed it or anything in the past. I never got the platinum god. I didn't get that, but I wasn't bad. So let's start with me testing the audio before, just as a full disclosure. So let's give it a go. So everything's locked at the beginning. People haven't played this before. I'm sure there are not that many at this point, but it's a roguelike game. So you have a different run each time, a series of items. Each floor has a boss at the end. You beat the boss, you advance to the next floor. You beat the final boss at the end. Job done. It's notable for its number of unlocks. So initially there's characters to unlock, and then there's different bosses to unlock, different paths as the game goes on. But we will talk about that more as we get to it. So initially the only character you can play as is Isaac. So let's get underway. So these rooms are the item rooms, the golden border. They contain items. So this is poop. It doesn't know. It kind of does what it does in the tin. It's kind of slightly pointless. So we're just gonna get started here. So I last played this when I lived in London, really, and that was, gosh, what was that? 2014, a long time ago now. It was a different time in London. It was a little less volatile than it is now, to say the least. I was there doing my sort of second degree in pathology at the Royal London Hospital. So I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's in Whitechapel, East London, and it's this sort of huge tower block of a hospital. It's actually quite intimidating when you see it for the first time. Certainly left me feeling a little bit overwhelmed when I first came across it. Fortunately, I wasn't actually ever in it. I never saw any patients in there. But yeah, so in London I lived in Hackney, in a little hall of residence there, and actually the rooms are tiny. The rooms were smaller than we looked it up, a regulation prison cell in this country, in the UK. So take from that what you will. But we had a good time. Hematemesis removes all of your red hearts, but you can get them back. So the first time you play through the game, you only go to the first boss, if you like, which is the end. It's awful. I sound awful saying it because I'm English, but mom or mum. But mum doesn't sound right either. Just the final boss. We'll just leave it at that. So we've been to the treasure room. Yeah, we got the poop and nothing in here. So not a bad first floor. We got 3 spirit hearts, which just gives us a nice buffer for the next floor. So the goal, just don't talk about the game too much, but the goal is to not take red heart damage on each floor. If you don't take red heart damage on each floor, then there's a chance of getting a deal with the devil, where you can exchange permanent red hearts for better items, and things add to your chance or remove to your chance of getting a deal with the devil, and the biggest one of which is not taking red heart damage. And the percentage chance you can see on the left, which is the upside down cross percentage. So the first floor it's always 0. You can't get one on the first floor. Well, that's not really true, but you can't get one through the conventional means. So Monstro's a pretty nice first boss. Nice and easy to do. I'm getting back into this now. Okay, remembering it's like riding a bike. Muscle memory flooding back. Yeah, that place in Hackney, it was an odd time. I was the only person who wasn't a fresher, so I was at a 5th year of university, and everyone else was just starting out. And a lot of them were studying at a different university, and they were doing sort of arts-based courses. So I was not. So we often had interesting discussion. But it was a good time. Ups and downs, let's say. So this is where it starts to make a difference here to take damage. So that's a great start. So what are we looking for? We just really need a bit of damage. So the damage needs to scale up as you go on. So the base damage is fine on the first floor, but it needs to go up. You need to get some increase. And how you do that? You get it from items. You get it from pills that drop little consumables. Our first item we got at the end of the first boss, I should say, breakfast, just a HP up. It's vanilla. It doesn't do much for us. It does give us more hearts to trade away if we get a deal for the devil. So this room takes half a heart to go through and then come back out of, but it can have good stuff in it. So let's have a look. This one didn't. This one didn't. Damn. Let's just deal with that. Nice. Okay, so we've still got a good number of spirit hearts. So I'm feeling optimistic. So there's our shop where we can exchange all this money. I want to say all this money. Come on, man. Okay, so got to just stabilize a little bit here. So I should be using this and shooting it. I'm being very lazy. So shooting the poop can give you coins, give you keys. I'm being very I've got some hubris going on here. I'm assuming it'll be easy, so I'm not bothering because we're only going to the first boss. But it's been a while, so I should treat the game with the respect it deserves. The problem with Hackney in London is there's no tube station. The nearest underground station to me was Bethnal Green, and that was like a 20-minute walk. It's got good overground coverage, but you know, still it wasn't that close. That was Homerton was the closest overground station, and that's not even particularly close. So overall, 6 out of 10 wouldn't live again. But I hear Hackney's going through a bit of a renaissance itself at the minute. Okay. So Tech X is a game winner. We should be all right now. We shouldn't lose this one. There we go. Cards on the table. So I'm filming this on the 4th of July, which is the day where people in England, well, it's the first day the pubs have been open for about 100 days. So people have been quite literally queuing up for a pint in the pub, which is, well, you know, people have different thoughts on that. I think it's a bit of fun, isn't it? As long as people drink within their means. Let's not get out of control and end up in A&E in the middle of a pandemic. That's not a good look. So the game's going fine. The game's going absolutely fine. Tech X is you could have one item for the whole game and Tech X would be it, and you'd still win. Why is it so good? This is a problem. Because the tears penetrate, so they do damage the entirety of the time they're in contact with the enemy. And the charging nature is nice, so you can do big shots, you can do small shots. They hit more than one enemy. It's all good. It's all good. To the point I don't really need to be thinking about min-maxing the run too much now. I'd rather not take red heart damage, obviously. I'd rather get another deal with the devil. What we don't have at the minute is a way of generating health, and that's just the one worry. So if things start to go south, if we have a series of quick hits, we're not going to be able to recover. Consumables, we don't have that many. Keys, bombs. So we're kind of going all in on the Tech X, but I think I'm optimistic, as I say. What was I saying? Oh yes, pubs. So you have to use. I think the plan. I haven't been to one yet, obviously, because it's 4 o'clock. But the general plan, I think you're meant to have an app and order drinks, and they're brought to the table, and you have to book a table, and give your name when you arrive. So it seems well planned. I mean, I don't think for a second any of it's going to work, and it's going to be a general disaster. But I guess you don't know till you try, do you? You've got to try opening these things at some point. It can't be shut forever. But I think it's doomed to fail, unfortunately. That'll all come out in the wash, won't it? So we have our next boss, Gurley Jr. Gurley Jr. is an issue. We'll probably take damage here because of that kind of movement. Very erratic. I remember having a lot of trouble with you back in the day. Oh, there it is. Oh well. well. Yeah, a little bit twitchy. Getting a little bit twitchy at the the lack of health, but it's all right. So I don't think we can afford the cursor room actually. I think that would be. See if we get any hearts drop, we'll go back. So what we really want to see are tinted rocks, and tinted rocks are rocks with an X on them. And they, when you blow them up, can contain those blue hearts, spirit hearts, which is obviously very useful indeed. You know, spirit hearts can make or break your chances against deal with the devil, which can make or break your chance of winning the game. So this guy here lets you exchange hearts for money. So we have enough money for the shop, but we now have no health. So we just need to be a little bit careful, but our chances are still good. And don't get caught on the edges. Perhaps more importantly is the hairdressers are open again, which is what's interesting, isn't it? It's kind of long overdue, but you do wonder whether there's tinted rock. You do wonder whether it's going to change people's behaviours, because I think a lot of people will realise they don't actually need to use a hairdresser. A lot of people cut their own hair. They've got their spouses, their partners, whatever, to cut their hair. A lot of people dyeing their own hair now, so they don't need to go and have it dyed. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that people don't actually need to go back as much. Oh, good God. It's spoiling me. Magic Marsh general stats up, huge damage up. And now it's a one run. You got people queuing at midnight to get their hair done. I mean, I wouldn't want my hair cut by someone who was that sleep deprived at midnight, personally. It's one of those things you should get done, I think, in a very controlled environment. I remember once in a nightclub once, and there was a new hairdresser who was trying to promote themselves, and they were like offered the promotion was you could get a haircut in the club, and it wasn't like you went to a little side room of the club. No. You got it cut by the DJ booth in the same light that everyone else was, you know, drinking to and dancing to. I'd like to see how that went. I think the results would have been. I don't think they would have made it to the portfolio pages of the hairdresser, perhaps. And what, you know, the promotion's all kind of pointless because I don't know which hairdresser it was. No one remembered. The next day, I'm sure some people probably woke up and just suddenly had a haircut and wondered what the hell happened last night. I think it's gone bust now, that hairdresser, funnily enough. As has the club. Probably a lesson there, isn't there? Right, how are we doing? So, don't get me. We've been, oh, good God. We're so lucky we got these items because we've been playing garbage. But it's the first one back, you know. It's like we've been on a long summer holiday. Found to be a little bit rusty. That's allowed. That's allowed. What's this? Jokers. The Joker takes you to the Devil Room immediately. So we should hang on to that. We might, you know, if we don't get a Devil deal organically, we can use that. Tinted Rock we can't get to because we can't fly. So we will move on. These guys are a pain. Ooh, could be good. Now this isn't an excuse, but I'm using a very old Xbox 360 controller, which is, it just doesn't feel quite responsive enough. But that is not to excuse what has been rather poor play. Let's, no, let's not open that. Let's not open that. Stompy, as the name might suggest, lets you break rocks by walking on them. Nope, don't need that. So these guys sort of disappear and come back. Fine. So sometimes you could lock a little, okay, lucky rock has appeared in the basement. Excellent. So these spidery guys, they can really get some distance on their jumping. And they don't jump by a set amount, the amount the distance varies each time. So you just never really know what's going on with them at all. Let's take this and start donating. So I've never got this 999 before. Because if you need money, you can take it from there by bombing it. So I never really managed to get it very far with it. It normally hovers around 300 because I need it to use it too much. Just taking stock.
I found pills.
Didn't do much for us. I can crack these open. No. They can give hearts sometimes, but not this time. This is okay. You can see his health is not insignificant. But still no match. I mean, Tech X this is getting a very skewed view of the game. I mean, and that's damage up, and that gives you a guaranteed devil deal each floor. This is another damage up with some spirit hearts. It's all going good. It's all going good. That nightclub, okay, wasn't actually in London, of course. I think London's a bit too classy for that. It was definitely more of a small town initiative to have a hair salon and a nightclub. Mental. We're unlocking a lot of characters on this. This is quite a success so far, isn't it? Now I didn't really go clubbing, but I don't go clubbing full stop really. I'm 30 years old, but back in the day, I suppose, I didn't go out much in London. It was just very expensive, and probably still is. Probably true of anywhere, right? But is clubbing all that? I think clubbing's one of those things you really kind of grow out of. I think that it seems really great when you're younger, because everyone's doing it. It's very much the Emperor's New Clothes, isn't it? Everyone's doing it, so therefore you do it. But it's just a very odd environment, isn't it? It's too loud to speak, and some will argue the point isn't to speak, and well, yes, fair enough, but speaking is nice, isn't it? It's nice to talk. People go hang out with their friends in a nightclub, and I was always struck that, you know, that you do the pre-drinking at home, right? You do you have a few beers before you leave for the club, and then you go to the club. What's the best part of any night? The bit at the start. It's always the pre-drinks. And why do we stay that? Here's a novel idea. Why don't we do the pre-drinks and then just continue them and not leave? Pitched that a few times. Fell on deaf ears, obviously. I was ahead of my time. Anyway.
His mother, fueled with
Here's how Lath's just listen to this intense story.
Down on Isaac. I will do as I'm told, my lord. I love you above all else, Isaac's mother repeated to herself. This was the end of the line for Isaac. His mother was far too strong for him.
Damn.
But just as he accepted his fate,
What
God
happened?
intervened, sending an angel down from above to stop his mother's hand.
Ooh.
And just like that, it was over.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, no. No, son, you think that's the end? It's the beginning. Good. Unlocked all kinds of things to do here. This is going to be quite a long list, actually. You get the point. Oh, okay. We can speed through this. You unlocked a lot of stuff. Excellent. Perfect. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll do a few more of these. All the best. See you later.